After a good night's rest, the troupe is anxious to get down to the venue and see the setup. They're blissfully unaware of the crisis unfolding at the stadium. Thinking ahead, the promoters have found a second ice-making machine. By connecting the two together, they hope to speed up ice production. But this tricky operation is eating into valuable time. It's their worst nightmare. They're an ice troupe without any ice. They have no option but to practice their routines around the edges of the unfilled rink. By evening, the mechanics are making good progress with the ice makers. The second machine is all hooked up and ready to go. They bring in bags of crushed ice to spread over the piping to help kickstart the freeze. But as the workers spread the ice, they inadvertently create large gaps between the carefully laid out piping. This could cause the rink to freeze unevenly, forming treacherous trenches of unfrozen water. Skating on the surface will be difficult and possibly dangerous. Next morning, Director Guan and head coach Chin check out the rink.
The plan was the ice would be ready by now, and we'd have 2 days to rehearse.
Yeah, normally the ice should be this thick.
With the opening only 2 days away, lack of ice is a huge frustration for Director Guan.
We're going to place another layer of crushed ice down first and wait for it to flatten out. But time is very tight. It's only been running for 6 hours. It needs another 48 hours to fully set.
But 48 hours will take them into the day of their first performance, meaning the troupe may have to perform without any rehearsal on the ice. And the stadium is almost fully booked for the opening show.
I'm very worried. If we can't get the ice ready in time, there's no way we can do our performance.
Head coach Chin, a former acrobat, understands how they're feeling. A rigorous rehearsal helps take their minds off their predicament.
Make sure you extend both arms out. The audience is on all 4 sides. Keep up the tempo.
By day's end, the ice situation has not improved. Taipei's subtropical climate isn't helping either. With the 2 machines working overtime, the troupe puts the rink to bed, hoping this layer of water will freeze overnight. It's now 1 day away from the first performance. There's been little improvement in the ice, and worse still, watery trenches are beginning to show. They desperately need a full dress rehearsal, even if it's only on the stage. With their skates still untouched, the troupe goes through the motions of a dress rehearsal in sneakers. Even the normally confident Qin Yu is now having her doubts.
If the ice isn't ready in time, I think it will be hard for us to pull things off. If we can't get in a proper rehearsal, I'm afraid we won't perform well.
16-year-old Xie Xiaotong and her partner finally get to rehearse their trapeze routine. It's been over 3 weeks since they've been able to practice. And it shows when they attempt a difficult maneuver. Like falling off a bicycle, she gets straight back on. But then, disaster strikes. Xiao Tong descends safely. But her partner's hold breaks. And she plummets 8 meters onto the partially frozen ice. Although she's initially stunned by the impact, the soft ice could have saved her from more serious injury. She soon recovers and is taken to hospital for an X-ray. But Xiao Tong is shattered. Her hopes of performing the trapeze routine on this tour are now dashed. With the first performance less than 24 hours away, there's a lot of money at stake and some big decisions to be made.
We'll decide tonight whether we need to postpone tomorrow's performance. If the ice isn't ready, we'll have to postpone. If the ice isn't flat or thick enough, the performers will have no way to work on it. It's a big problem.
It's the morning of the first show, and Coach Chin checks out the ice makers. They've been running non-stop all night and should have made about 4 centimeters of ice, just enough to put on a show. But inside the gym, it's another story. The ice is still poor and patchy. The troupe's body language says it all. But Director Guan won't tolerate these glum faces.
As I told you before, if you can't pull yourself together, then I don't think you are fit to be performers. So sit up and stop slouching. Sit up straight like soldiers. We won't tolerate that kind of attitude here. We're confronted with a difficult situation, so you just have to pull yourself together and face it. Your attitude is the most crucial thing that determines whether we can get through this.
Harsh words for the young acrobats. But Coach Chin knows from experience that this approach works.
In China, there's a proverb: be strict to those you're close to, and tolerate those who are not. That means being strict on those you care for, so they can develop.
Outside, the troupe holds an emergency meeting with the promoter. In true showbiz style, they all agree that the show must go on.
If the ice isn't ready for the first and second performances, we'll give the audience members another ticket that allows them to come to the show again when the ice is ready.
They have just 8 hours to prepare a totally new show that takes the ice routines and puts them on the stage. They also add in some of their favorite routines from their pre-ice troupe days. Remarkably, with just an hour to opening, the troupe has cobbled together a new stage show. With a bit of luck and a sympathetic audience, they might just pull it off. In a last-ditch attempt to fill the ruts, they bring in blocks of dry ice. At minus 78.5 degrees Celsius, it should help speed things up. But it won't be in time for the opening show. The bungee routine takes off, and their nerves and lack of practice are showing. But they needn't have worried. The Taiwanese crowd gives the troupe all the support they need. It's also a day of triumph for the non-ice routines. But Xiao Tong can only watch from the wings, knowing her trapeze act should have been performing overhead. Wang Long's Pitiao act, minus his skates, thrills the crowd. The aerial ribbons are spectacular, despite the rough ice. Chunmei sparkles with confidence, her earlier nerves now behind her. Pei Long's hat trick is usually a challenge, but it's a piece of cake without his skates on. The final routine was put together just a few hours ago. But it's such a hit that it may become a permanent part of the show. In no time at all, they're bidding their opening audience farewell and celebrating.
If we had ice, it would be even better because we've been practicing on ice for so long. But I still feel pretty good about today's performance.
The fact that we mastered these routines of the ice first helped us perform well today.
They've carried the day, but can they make this tour a success? Out on the rink, the battle with the ice continues. Dry ice works well on the trenches, but over the whole surface, liquid nitrogen at minus 196 degrees might just do the trick. Over the next few nights, the show becomes a mix of acts, on and off the ice. Although the ice is improving, midweek audiences start to dwindle. Perhaps word is out that not all of the show is performed on the rink. But the acrobats put their all into every performance. More acts move onto the ice as conditions improve. But the slushy ice makes it hard for anyone to shine. By Saturday morning, there's a growing sense of expectation. At last, the ice is looking good, and nearly 12,000 seats have sold for their 4 weekend shows. The troupe has one last chance to complete a full show on ice to a capacity crowd. Even Qin Yu is encouraged enough to haul out her platform skates. It's been 4 weeks since she last had them on, and they'll take a bit of getting used to.
At the moment, I don't feel completely safe skating on these, and I need someone to support me as I practice. Wutong, come here. Hurry up. Oh, look at it. The forward ones and the backward ones. I'm rocking backward and forwards.
Then, just as they look forward to the chance of good ice conditions, fate strikes a cruel blow. A figure skater digs the points of his skates into the thin ice, rupturing one of the refrigeration pipes. If the flow can't be stopped and the rink repaired, then the show might have to be cancelled.
Go and get the suckers and start sucking up this liquid.
They can only look on in despair. To fix the pipe, they need to shut off the ice makers. But then the rink will soften. And there's less than an hour to showtime. They stem the flow of liquid, but now there's a hole in the rink's surface that needs to be filled and frozen in record time. It's too late to cancel. Their only hope is that the repair holds once the ice makers are fired back up. Or their show could turn to mush. If the audience is feeling the cold, the troupe is certainly feeling the heat. The future success of the ice show depends on this last performance in Taiwan. Figure skating opens the show. She'll need to avoid the slippery corner where the leak occurred. But it's exactly where she's meant to do her opening pirouette. It's going to be a tough night. Now it's the bungee boys' turn. They know that if the rink conditions compromise the ice routines, it will be acts like theirs that need to stand out. Jin Yu kicks off the skipping act. Pei Long's routine is tough on the soft surface.
Come on, Sun. Please don't film me. You will make me go blank.
Then the soft ice claims another victim. In true acrobatic style, Chung Mei puts on a brave face. The Long Post Boys finally get the chance to pull off their dramatic head-to-head stunt on the ice. And Wang Long finishes with a flourish. They've decided to keep the Diablo and the spinning plates on the stage. This gives everyone in the giant arena a chance to be close to the action and takes the pressure off the delicate ice. But can the Lion Boys perform their backward somersault in front of a full house? It's not just the audience willing them on. All the bruises and pain have been worth it. Backstage, Jin Yu is readying herself for the swan dance.
Today is our first day to perform. The ice is okay, but I still lack confidence in these stilt skates.
Wang Long's PTR is timed to give the girls a chance to get into their swan costumes. At long last, it's the Swan's debut. Chen Yu's entrance is a tense moment, but she carries it off. She even manages a gentle pirouette. This is Chen Yu's moment of glory.
How did it go?
It went really well. Better than I expected. The ice wasn't too bad. I think I did a good job.
Finally, it seems their luck has turned. But during the next act, the rink starts bleeding liquid once again. The skating pair follow, and luckily the spotlight is on them, not the repairman. Next, there's tumbling on the stage, which gives him a chance to clean up. With an ounce of luck, his repair work will see them through. Before they know it, they're into their grand finale. Chun Mei and the girls take off on the aerial hoops. Despite the poor ice conditions that have plagued much of the season, the crowds have returned, and the tour has been the success they hoped for. Already they're booked to travel to Turin in Italy to perform in just 1 month's time. Their international careers are underway.
I'm very positive about our future. This ice trip is the first in China, and I think we'll go far and make a big impact.
Chen Yu knows she made the right decision to switch to acrobatics. While for Chung Mei and Pei Long, this is what they've dreamed of ever since they were children. Now, they are truly professional acrobats and China's pioneers of acrobatics on ice.